Hi, it's Diamond here, your creative director at 100 Female Entrepreneurs.
And Nicole Garner Scott, founder of 100 Female Entrepreneurs. And today, we're going to really delve a lot into the mindset of an entrepreneur.
See, we get a lot of questions here at 100 Female, like, where do I start? You know, I want to be a business owner, but I've been working in corporate, or I want to be a business owner, but I just don't know how to get started. This is our take on how to develop your entrepreneurial mindset. Because I know I've had to develop it.
Right.
I know you have.
Exactly.
After all these years. So, number one, like, how do we get started?
Well, I think it's very important, especially with a lot of our membership base. Some people are transitioning out of being full-time employers. Some are transitioning out of what we call weekend entrepreneurs, where you're kind of doing this on the side hustle. And this might be your first time putting your entrepreneurial venture front and center. So it doesn't matter how great your paperwork is or your logos or everything, how great that's in place, your mind has to be there to really adapt to this lifestyle of entrepreneurship. So 6 tips that we've came up with to really help you through that. Starting with tip number 1, you have to be responsible for all your decisions now, whether good or bad. And so I was talking to Diamond in regards to usually when you're working for someone, you feel like this is the area I'm responsible for. I don't get paid to think about this other side of things. That's past my pay grade, etc. When you're an entrepreneur, it's all you. From what color your office is, to how these bills are getting paid, to these campaigns, structures,
brand, logo, colors of your brand, like contracts, everything. And I think as far as being responsible, you have to own up to it, but then you have to move on. Like, don't linger in the feelings of the things that you've done bad, and you can't celebrate all year long for the things you've done well. You just have to take responsibility and keep trucking forward.
Right. Step 2, I would say, is your long-term and your short-term goals you have to hold synonymously.
Okay.
So prior to you having your entrepreneurial venture as your main source of income, you might just think of, what do I need to accomplish for Q1? Or what needs to be done this week in my life? Or let me get down this task list. But now you have to start thinking about 5 years in advance. Will this industry that I'm catering to still be profitable in 5 years? Or do I need to start getting out of this industry and catering to another industry? Will the services that I provide, will they still be relevant? Right. Many people are closing their doors every day, not because they do bad business, but because no one no longer needs their services. So making sure that you're forecasting as far out as you can, because you're still responsible for your check 5 years from now, like you are today.
That's a good. I didn't even think about that. So would you suggest writing down your long-term and your short-term goals, but maybe understanding that they are one?
They definitely are one, because all your short-term goals will help you get to your long-term goals. So you need to, what I do is hold those 2 things. I like to do a lot of things digitally. Some people, I think you're more like paper, pen.
Yes, I love
whatever works best for you, but putting it down, putting them side by side, remembering what your ultimate goals are, your long-term ventures, but then also monitoring your short-term to make sure that they make sense to the long-term and that you can get to that. Tip number 3 is getting comfortable in your non-comfort zone.
Okay.
So
what does that look like for some people? Or for you, what was that like for you?
Sure. So for me, I lived in a comfort zone. You know, especially like in the first few years of starting business, I felt like this is the way it was supposed to be, and this is how it was going to go, etc. And then life happens.
Right.
All in the midst of that, life happens. Contracts change. I have a PR agency, so I might have like 3-year contracts signed with some clients, and they might go on a pay freeze. Right. And that comes from a corporate sector, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you might have planned out your vacations, your hires, your all these different things based upon this money you thought you were getting, and it might not be coming anymore. So then that little place in the back of your head that says, I gotta hustle, like I gotta figure this out, I gotta get it done, has to click on. And it's always something, you know? I mean, moving away to different cities, you know, and
Right,
navigating.
I know all about that one.
Exactly, navigating, because is now in LA. But navigating through those waters, and it's just not going to be comfortable. Like,
Right.
comfortable is something you just had to let go of by the time you became an entrepreneur.
One of the quotes that I found to be very helpful, it comes from Shonda Rhimes' Year of Yes. And one of the things that she says is you have to say yes to the things that scare you and the things that are in your non-comfort zone.
Right.
You know, the things that are not in your comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
are the things that you should do, and you should just do them afraid, because I just believe that fear is the compass
Mm-hmm.
and that you have to move in that direction.
Exactly. Tip number 4, learning is a continuous journey.
Always. Even Oprah still learns.
Right.
All the time.
Which is so amazing.
Right.
Because at that point you could just really Netflix and chill.
Right.
Your entire
Just kick it.
your entire journey. But even you could see the greats still read. They still learn. They still challenge themselves all the time. I heard Beyonce is considering taking on this new role. It's so controversial right now, but people are just seeing, can she even live up to it? Well, why not challenge yourself?
Try.
Why not keep setting standards? Because when those box office dollars come in, she'll be like, I told you so.
She'll be good.
Right.
I think that's a good question to ask yourself. Like, if you're thinking about doing something, or if you're thinking about, you know, trying something new, I think ask yourself, why not?
Why not?
That's a really good question.
Right. I mean, there's a million reasons. There's a million reasons you could tell yourself that when you really write it down, none of them will be good enough to stop you from doing what it is you want to do.
Right.
And then also, just when it comes to continuous learning, sometimes your skill sets that you have in the beginning won't carry on.
Right.
How many of us, you know, are from an earlier decade where social media wasn't as prevalent, where you felt like, I'm not going to get into that. That's where, you know, kids, etc. Remember when Facebook used to just be for college kids?
Right.
Now Facebook gives you the most analytics for your business, and there's of course it gets overwhelming. There's Snapchat and Periscope and Marquee and Facebook video now, Facebook Live. And, I mean, it's a million different things. You don't have to utilize all of them, but you should be abreast of them, because you're not sure which one will work best for your industry. And just always gravitating towards a higher skill set. Tip 5 is the numbers can't lie.
They don't. And I think we need to see it.
Right. Right. So, I mean, I know me personally. I don't know about you, Diamond, but math was hard for me.
I loved math.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
I'm actually on the wall at my high school as a genius.
Oh.
I did love math. So
I
I
probably
get it.
skipped right past that wall, right to, let's make sure we help her out. But math was not my thing. But math is a necessity when you're in the entrepreneurial space. Understanding your cash flow, knowing what's going in and out your bank. And you can't hold something that's the bloodline of your business to be in the care of someone else, your accountant, your business partner. I know many of people who are in legal disputes right now because their business partners mismanaged the money. But how did you not know that?
Right.
How did 2 years of your business go down the drain and you did not know that your funds were being mismanaged unless you completely never tapped into that?
Right.
And you just can't let your dream be tanked by somebody else and their mismanagement of funds.
Absolutely. So even if you don't want to understand or even deal with the money in your business, you really have to, so that 2 years doesn't go by and now your money is
Mm-hmm.
What's number 6?
Number 6 is in the world of entrepreneurship, just really being able to embrace getting past the obstacles and being able to have that, what we call a bounce back factor.
Okay.
So we get knocked down all the time, it happens, but there has to be a higher sense of purpose, a higher level objective that helps you bounce back through all of that. And that's something that that can't be money driven. That can't be, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to be rich, or I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to work for someone else. What's that deep underlying purpose?
Why?
What
is your why?
Exactly. What is your why that keeps you going? Because there will be big upsets throughout this journey of entrepreneurism, no matter how high you get in your career. I know people who are in their upper level, $1 million, $1 billion levels of their business, and they're dealing with hardships on a daily level. So you want to make sure that you have that deeper sense of purpose and those deeper levels of objectives that keep you through the standard time.
Those are good, solid ways to really launch or change the way you think about being an entrepreneur. And I think just starting with those 6, I'm sure there's many more that we could share, but just starting with those 6 by writing those down and really like spending time with them and trying to figure out how you can now begin to incorporate those into the way you think, you will be well on your way to being like a super successful entrepreneur.
So for more information, make sure you stay tuned into this membership portal. There's worksheets that you can get, downloadables, so much content coming out. Also plug into our private Facebook group. Plug into our Instagram, which is at 100 Females with an S. Make sure that you start coming out to our events. We're going on tour
this year.
Yes,
so just
pay
2016.
attention. Just stay plugged into everything, and we can't wait to see you back for the next one.